have you ever sat at a poker table, looked at your cards, and just felt like everyone else is playing a totally different game? Like they know something you don't? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the strategic blueprint that turns amateurs into winners. Let's get into it.
First things first, let's just get this out of the way. The big question. Isn't poker just gambling? Isn't it all just luck? I mean, we've all had that monster hand, right? Only to get crushed by some miracle card on the river. It feels like pure luck, but is that really the whole story?
And the answer is, well, it's kind of both. Yeah, in any single night, luck can be a huge factor. That's what pros call variance. It's the wild ups and downs of the game. But, and this is the important part, over hundreds or thousands of hands, skill always wins. So what's the key to that skill? It's having a solid blueprint. And here it is. This is your blueprint. We're going to build your entire game around 3 super strong pillars. First, we'll see why your position at the table is everything. Second, we're going to learn some incredibly simple math that'll give you a massive edge. And third, we'll talk about how to play the person across from you, not just the cards in your hand. Let's start with pillar 1. Okay, our first pillar. This is something that so many new players just completely overlook, but honestly, it's probably the single most important concept in Texas Hold'em. It's all about your position. Believe it or not, where you're sitting is often more critical than what 2 cards you're holding.
So, what do we mean by position? It's just your spot in the betting order. And here's the golden rule. The later you have to act, the better. It's a huge strategic advantage because you get to see what everyone else does before you have to make a decision. In poker, information is everything, and when you act last, you have the most information. It's that simple. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the 2 extremes. On the left, you're in early position. You're basically acting blind. You have a whole table of players after you, so you have to play super tight. Only your absolute best hands. Now, contrast that with the button on the right. That's the last person to act. It is, hands down, the most profitable seat in poker. Why? Because you've seen everyone else's moves, which lets you play way more hands. And this table really shows you what that looks like in the real world. From up front, in early position, you're playing the monster hands, the cream of the crop. But when you're on the button, man, the world is your oyster. You can start playing all sorts of hands, even stuff that looks kind of weak, because your position gives them power.
All right, pillar number 2. And don't let the word math scare you off, I promise. You do not need to be some kind of math whiz for this. If you can count and do some basic multiplication in your head, you've got everything you need to start making way better decisions at the table.
So it all starts with this one simple idea called outs. An out is just any card left in the deck that will make your hand a winner. The most common example is a flush draw. Let's say you have 4 hearts. You need 1 more to make your flush. Well, there are 13 hearts in a deck. You can see 4 of them. So that means there are 9 hearts left that you can hit. You have 9 outs. So how do we turn those outs into a useful percentage? Easy. We use this awesome little trick called the rule of 2 and 4. It's a mental shortcut. After the flop comes out, you just count your outs and multiply by 4. That gives you a pretty good estimate of your chances of hitting your hand by the river. After the turn card comes, you just multiply your outs by 2. Let's go back to our flush draw. We figured out we have 9 outs after the flop, so we use our shortcut. 9 times 4, that's 36. You have roughly a 36% chance of hitting that flush. You know, a little better than a 1 in 3 shot. No calculator needed.
Okay, so why does knowing you have a 36% chance matter so much? Because it turns poker from a guessing game into a game of calculated risks. Now you can look at how much money is in the pot, look at the size of the bet you have to call, and decide if it's actually worth it. You're not just hoping anymore, you're making smart, profitable decisions over and over again.
We've covered position and we've covered the math. But poker isn't played in a vacuum. It's played against other people. And that brings us to our third and maybe most fun pillar, play the player. Your cards are only one part of the equation. Understanding who you're up against is how you really start to dominate. See, every player has a style, a set of habits. In a live game, you just have to pay close attention. Online, players use these tools called HUDs, or heads-up displays, that track stats on their opponents. And 2 of the most important stats are VVP and PFR. Basically, VVP tells you how often a player willingly puts money in the pot. Are they loose or tight? And PFR tells you how often they're raising. Are they aggressive or passive? These numbers can paint a really clear picture of someone's strategy. For example, if you see a player with a VPIP of 10 and a PFR of 8, that's really low. In the poker world, we call this player a knight. This is someone who is waiting for the absolute perfect monster hand before they play. And this little cheat sheet shows you exactly how to use that information to make more money. Against that super cautious nit, you should be bluffing them all day long because they fold so much. But when they bet big, get out of the way. Now look at the loose player, the guy with a VPIP over 40 who plays everything. You do the exact opposite. You never bluff this guy, but when you have a good hand, you bet big because you know he's going to call you down. You're adjusting your game to attack their weaknesses.
So, there you have it. Position, math, and playing the player. We've built a foundation for a truly winning poker strategy. It's not about memorizing a bunch of crazy plays, it's about consistently applying these core ideas. Let's just wrap it all up.
Your new blueprint is this simple. Number 1, position is power. Always, always think about where you are at the table before you do anything. Number 2, use that simple math, the rule of 2 and 4, to get a quick read on your odds. And number 3, figure out who you're playing against and change your strategy to take advantage of their style. These 3 pillars work together to turn you from someone who just plays cards into a real competitor.
So, the theory is done. The real fun starts now. You've got the blueprint. You know how to stop just playing your hand and start playing the whole game. The only question left is, which player at your table are you going to exploit first? Thanks for tuning in.